You're about to listen to a podcast from the Firearms Radio Network. For more, visit firearmsradio.net.
I got beauty sleep.
Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 529. This show is brought to you by VZ Grips, Primary Arms, Walker Defense, and XS Sights. We have a Lucid Optics E7 review. We talk about the new Nitro airgun, compact weapon light, and a magazine adapter tonight. So, if you've listened, you might know we showcase guns, gear, and anything else you might be interested in. We do our best to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm Chad Wallace, and with me tonight, we have everybody, Tony, Rob, and Rusty. And Rusty gets the first ad read of the night.
And the night's ad read is VZ Grips. VZ Grips have been manufacturing handgun grips since 2003. With a reputation for quality, consistency, and innovation, top-tier manufacturer chooses VZ Grips. They come in a variety of styles, patterns, colors, and manufactured for proprietary G10 micarta and carbon fiber or polymer. That's new. Available with a varying degree of texture, VZ offers a wide range of grips for all different firearm types. Made in the USA, VZ gives you the grip you can count on. Feature grip of the week is the VZ Fallout grip for the 1911. These are nice. They have some about 3 different styles of texturing, 4 different styles of texturing on there. And let's just say they're offered it in all of the VZ colors.
Yeah, and there's a ton that they have listed on the site right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's 5 different rows of them, and they are pretty cool. They got the thumb cutouts in there, and they're pretty awesome. So,
yo, this red, white, and blue looks freaking cool,
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my god, the red, white, and blue looks cool.
I mean, they got some of them. They don't even. They're so new. They don't even have pictures of them yet, which I was a little disappointed.
The Coyote Burl, I think the last one. I think that's pretty awesome. I like burls. I got a friend that makes bowls, wooden bowls, and I just like the way the comes out in it. But anyway,
they make dirty olive burl.
Anyway, let's leave Rob out of this one today. If you use coupon code GGR15, you get 15% off all handgun and rifle grips at vzgrips.com. So what do we do in firearms this week, guys?
Well, who wants to start?
Me, I just recovered and did a little bit of nothing.
That works. Well, here in a couple weeks, aren't you going to?
I'm going to Brownells.
Yeah.
Yep, I sure am. So I'm driving the 11 hours from Tennessee to Grinnell, Iowa. So that's going to be a trip. And I am working on some reviews. I just I've been kind of slacking since I had my surgery. I haven't really even thought about guns. I did get a package in the mail from Foxtrot Mike. I got three ambi safeties, but I haven't even taken them out of the package yet. That's just how I've been trying to.
Did you see what he's doing now? They made something, and I should just tell him to send me one, that you can lock back the bolt cycling so you can do the HK slap with it.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and I always wondered why there wasn't just a little like cut out in the forearm itself where you could push it up. I know it won't lock back by itself and do that, but you could lock it back and then just whack it down. And they made something. It looks like it goes on the pick rail and then holds it. So I don't know, but
on the PTR 91s.
Yeah, and that too, and the HK MP5 G3s, all of them. Mm-hmm. So there's that. I might as well go because who knows what these guys did. Did you do anything, Rob?
God, I was going to go to the range, but it was just too damn hot. And the thing is, there was no breeze this weekend. I mean, it's like you get out there and you're sweating your keister off.
See, I went to the range, and
but it's like 50 degrees up there, dude.
No, it was like 60 and pouring down rain, but it's a covered range. Well, the targets aren't covered, but so yeah, I did go to the range. I had a few things I wanted to work on. One of them was that 308 upper, with the.
I seen the pictures of the gas block.
I was like, okay, this is okay. Still giving trouble, and I'm like, the barrel's decent now. I can work with it because I'm not. I don't really care anymore. I'm not sending the stupid thing back for problems. Now, of course, the first time they fixed it, they supposedly fixed the gas block. This gas block that they sent that was on this rifle that they supposedly test fired. I mean, it did fire. It's not like it didn't. The gas hole, I'm trying to show it on the camera, but you can't really see it. It's smaller diameter by about 20 thousandths than the port in the barrel. So, I'm like, there's no way. So of course I had an extra Timber Creek steel gas block laying around that I slid on there. So, cause there's still a 750 journal diameter, their gas blocks are the same. So that seemed to help some. It's still got a little bit of problems, but hey, I did that. I moved some optics around. So I had to, of course, sight in some optics, the usual stupid stuff that we always end up doing. But that was the extent of what I did. Tony, you're last.
Yeah, it sucks. My range time fell through. I was driving back to Jersey, so I missed my Friday night competition. And then I got here and Sunday I was supposed to go to the range in PA, where Freedom Range, where we have suppressed full auto stuff that I was planning on shooting. But man, my knees hurt so bad from just walking on the sand in the uneven range down, because it's a brand new range in Greenwood. And that just rocked my knees, that in a 14-hour trip. And I was like, it's better that I just chill out and take it easy and not walk Sunday. So it sucked because I really wanted to go there. But it is what it is. So I didn't get a chance to pull any triggers. But I'm putting together something. A couple of things. I think I might have told you guys about it, but I'm trying to get some stuff going to get people to join us in classes. If you've been checking out my Instagram, and what I've been really talking about lately is trying to encourage people to take firearms classes. And I'm going to be doing that locally with local instructors. Just sliding into their class as a student, but hopefully I can bring some others with me to take classes with me. I mean, these classes I already take. Hell, I probably taught them. But nothing wrong with taking a class again. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Fundamentals is fundamentals. And if I can bring some new people in because they're not intimidated or they want, like they kind of know me from listening to podcasts, come out. Let's have fun. And let's run a class together. And you got to get over that hump. All of us are taking classes. And you know how the first hour in the class, everybody kind of keeps themselves or whoever they came with. And then by noon, you're busting each other's chops. I just want to get people together so we can, do that and have some fun.
Yeah. And it is always fun. I mean, even just training, yes, but even if you just go to local matches, same type of deal. Get out, do something out of the ordinary. Yep. So, bandwidth sponsors, our friends over at Patriot Patch Co. Of course, there's the Patch of the Month Club. You guys need to join it if you don't. They have the awesome, Eagle one or whatever it is for the 4th of July, Independence Day.
Okay, that looks pretty freaking cool.
It does. I mean, it really does. We must say so. It's pretty cool. Just go check it out. I did not get mine yet. That is not it.
That's the old one, right?
That's the old one. This
is the one from last year.
Yeah.
I just opened this.
Well, you know how you are. But yeah, so, I think they sent it. So I think I saw something come through, but it's probably in my mailbox.
Mine's on the table. I haven't opened it up yet.
Yeah, figures. So affiliates, discounts, show notes, firearmsinsider.tv/ affiliates, discounts. You can get there. We did lose one. A while back we had Sovereign Ammo on. They are now closing the doors, so they're good. just not being able to
I
keep
just
up
spoke
with
to
the
them in
thing.
February.
Yeah, I mean, so that's bad news just because we hate to see companies like that, have to shut down. But, I think they'll still be around in different ways, but we wish them the best. I like Amadeo, so, figured. So we no longer have them as an affiliate, but, it is what it is. Rob, take it away.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-hosts and do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. This is not legal advice, nor should it be considered as such. Viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows. And our main topic tonight is going to be sponsored by Walker Defense Research. Walker Defense provides shooters with the finest, most innovative, quality tactical accessories and firearm components around. From their Nile grip panels to their Nero muzzle brakes, no details are ever left behind. Only top quality materials are used in the manufacturing process. Together, all of this gives you some of the best firearm performance around. Everything they have to offer is proudly made in the USA. Walker Defense, where American ingenuity meets bleeding-edge technology. And our product of the week is their Nero 9. And remember to use the code INSIDER15 for 15% off everything at walkerdr.com. And now our main topic is going to be presented by our fearless leader, and he's going to tell us about the Lucid Optics E7.
There you go. Nicely done, Rob. Nicely done.
I can do it when I have internet, for Christ's sake.
Well, okay. I was going to tell you something last week. So you lost internet. Well,
just died.
Jen Champ, who's also in the comment section, he lost internet, and it's Starlink. Yeah,
Starlink had just at that time they had an outage for a half hour.
Yep. So, and he came back on later, and it was like, "Yep, stupid Starlink or whatever it was." Probably.
Yeah, what can you do? I mean, I live in the middle of nowhere, and it's either that or a microwave internet, which is really horrible.
It's probably like that Cybertruck I saw at the dunes that got stuck. That's what happened. That's what happened to the internet.
To spend $80,000 on an overpriced electric golf cart.
Exactly. They get stuck in the dunes. So yes, I will get moving on here to the Lucid Optics E7. I actually took it off the rifle and have it here. You can't really see the reticle, but hey, if you're watching, if not, as always, go over to firearmsinsider.tv. and you will be able to find all the reviews there, including this one. So, small, fully enclosed red dots have become commonplace. These dot sights can be used on rifles, shotguns, pistols, makes them very useful. Lucid Optics has one of these enclosed dot sights, and they named it the E7. The Lucid E7 has something special under its hood, though. That special twist is a blue-colored reticle instead of your standard red or green dot. Now, granted, they are the same size as some others optics that are on the market. We'll get into that later because this one is different because it's blue. But besides that blue reticle, Lucid's E7 reflex sight is pretty standard. E7 is essentially a square rectangle with a length of 1.78 inches. Okay, it's not a true square, but you get the idea. Uses the industry standard footprint of these type sights, which of course is the acro footprint. Nice thing about the acro footprint is you can get a multitude of adapters to fit it for just about any firearm. E7 comes with a tall pick adapter that's pre-installed. Also in the box is an MOS adapter, should you choose to run it on a Glock MOS system. I used the tall pick adapter because I mounted the E7 on the Foxtrot Mike AR-ish pistol. Worked great in that configuration. Before I get to the blue reticle design of the E7, I'll get into a few of the specs. It is a 1X reflex sight, so no magnification. Exterior is made from 7075 aluminum, so you should be able to bash it around if you want to. E7 tips the scales at a lightweight 2.65 ounces. Of course, it runs off a 2032 battery, has a 50,000 hour battery life, thanks to the shake awake feature of the E7. The auto on feature is really a favorite of mine. If you've listened to other reviews, you know that. Just because everybody should use it, I think. The rest of the specs, of course, can be seen down below. We'll go over them later. Now, the Lucid Optics E7 is the first reflex sight with blue colored reticle. Now, reflex sight, so you got to remember that, not like optic style. Why blue? Well, blue is calming to the human mind, leads to less fatigue if you're seeing it for extended periods of time. It also appears very sharp, making it ideal for reticle designs. But most important to us shooters is that blue colors are typically not found on things we shoot at. Now, if you're shooting in a field of blue flowers, that might be an exception. Blue reticle doesn't just blend into stuff like green or red, might, more so green. Even against a blue sky, you can still see the reticle of the E7. It is lighter, but you can do it. There is a picture in the write-up, so you can go check it out yourself. So if you're training, have different colored targets. If somebody, your trainer or something says, shoot the red target, there's less chance you'll lose track of the dot with a blue one. Now, of course, if they have blue targets, you can do that. But in my experience, I find red blends in more with like red colors targets. Green, not as much as like red does, but that's my experience. You might have different experiences. Now, for the reticle design, I'm thinking Space Invaders here, but I didn't write that in here. Lucid Optics uses their M5 reticle in the E7. I'll do my best to describe it. Look at the picture of it. It's the best thing you can do. I mean, then it gives you a better explanation of it. In the middle is a 4 MOA dot surrounded by 2/3 of a 32 MOA circle. Then on the bottom are 45-degree angles are 2 lines, having both the 32 MOA circle and these 2 lines help to draw your eye straight to the center dot. Or so they say. Lucid Optics says that between the blue color and this reticle, it helps give you a 30% faster target acquisition over just a simple dot. I don't know if I was 30% faster with the E7, but what I do know is the reticle is pretty fast and it does draw my eye right into it. So it is easy to pick up a sight picture. And so I ended up really liking the design of the reticle. Now, since the Lucid E7 is an enclosed sight, it does have some advantages because of that. Most obvious is the guts of the E7 are protected from dirt, water, oil, other objects that might cause problems. If you've ever gotten water on the emitter of an open reflex sight, you know the advantage of a closed system does for you. You don't have to worry about that emitter looking weird. Now, if you happen to get something on the E7's 21 by 18 millimeter lens, you just wipe it off. The enclosed system also puts the controls on the outside where they're easy to get to. In the E7's case, brightness up down is on the left side and the battery compartment is on the right side. Windage adjustments also on the right side, of course. Elevation adjustments on top. Imagine that. Both have positive click adjustments for easier use. However, they are small and need a flathead screwdriver to adjust them. But I was still pleasantly surprised with adjustment clicks because they are so small on this little optic. I mean, they are not large at all. Now, I'm pretty happy with the Lucid's E7. It's a great little 1x reflex sight. I really only have one complaint. If you turn up the brightness on the M5 blue reticle, it blurs together for me. Now, I do know this is due to my astigmatism, so don't worry about it being clear for other people. Now, if you have bad eyes like me, that's a different story. Because the reticle has more in it than just a dot, is why that it's worse for me. Because if it's just a dot, it just kind of blurs out to one direction. In this case, I have like 4 things blurring out in that direction. However, if I turn the brightness down a little, the reticle does clear up nicely. Plus, due to that blue hue, I get a clear reticle at a lower brightness setting than if I were using a red one. This really only plays a role if I'm shooting at distant targets. Up close, I just use the bright blue as a larger dot, just put the reticle on the target and engage it. I do like the size and weight of the E7. Perfect size for lightweight AR pistol or SBR. And having the acro footprint also lends the E7 to be right at home on a handgun. if you choose that option. The E7 has been a great little reflex sight, and it has stood up to my abuse. Not a lot of it, but, you know, I'm not super nice on my stuff. In fact, people have mentioned it to me before when I've been to the range, and I have like 5 pistols just thrown in the range bag. They're like, okay, so you guys get that idea. Now, since the Lucid Optics E7 is the first blue-colored reflex sight, it does stand out against all the other ones. Yes, you'll pay a few dollars more for it, but you do get an actual reticle in a blue color, not just a dot. Construction's nice, sturdy, easy to use controls. Has great battery life thanks to that shake awake function. So if you're looking for a good enclosed style reflex sight with that blue twist, you can always check out the Lucid E7. Now, for the Firearms Insider Review key points, claim to fame. I think we already know it's a blue illuminated reflex sight. Target market is pretty much those wanting something different. You know, sight can easily be used for anything from handguns to rifles. Now, the features and benefits, of course, it's matte black color, 70-75 aluminum construction. Let's see the stuff we didn't say. Field of view is 60 feet at 100 yards. It's IPX7 waterproof and 90 MOA windage and elevation adjustments. Now, there is a thing that what others are saying in there from Optics Planet. Basically, he said it was blurry for his eyes, but his buddy didn't see any problems with it. So basically, I say they probably have an astigmatism like 90% of the population, it seems like, that shoots guns has. There is a link to another review in there. Now, price point. MSRP on this thing is $299.99, which sounds a lot until you go to Optics Planet where you can get it for $240, which makes it sound a little more like what you would expect. So if you need it now, you can go to either one of those places. And that's what I said when I say it's, you know, a few bucks more than a standard one. You know, basically the company's selling stuff very similar with just dots. They're $200. So, you know, you pay a few more bucks because you want blue. I get it. Our rating, the pros. Blue reticle's easy on the eyes. The reticle is fast to pick up. It has that shake awake, the acro footprint, and actual click adjustments. Now, the cons may not be good for people with astigmatism, and the MSRP is a little higher than other optics in this class. So I gave it a score of 7.5, which was good. Now, I'm sure somebody's got questions for me. Maybe not.
Well, I'm trying to formulate here.
So, okay, well, I can ask a question real quick. Have you tried to take it off and put it back on and see if it maintains 0 or not?
It does for the most part.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't try it at 100 yards, but it's going to be close enough that it doesn't really matter. I mean, it goes on the pick rail, and as long as you shove it forward on the pick rail, it should be fine.
Right.
Well, it's off right now. It's off right now, and I'm going to, after the podcast, I'm going to put it back on the rifle.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it looks like something. It looks like a nice little optic, but like you said, I mean, it's like $300. But then again, MSRP is MSRP, so you can probably pick them up for $250.
Well, that was the thing. You can buy them for $240 at Optics Planet. So, you know, MSRP's a little higher than actual price. You got it formulated, Rusty?
Well, yeah, you remember back in the day when the green first come out, like their battery life was way down, and now it's come back up, and I think you answered the question that it's 50,000 hours. Correct?
Yeah, it's essentially the same as everything else, and I think that's
okay
because of the shake awake.
Okay, that's where I was going with, and you know, like I was just sitting here. I've got a Holliston right here that I was looking at. And it's just a standard dot, the 3 MOA dot, which is a star when I look at it. Mm-hmm. And then I can go over here and, this thing right here is a tank.
Right, but it's a prism, so it's
a prism, which is fantastic. And then you got to go, which one do I want to put on my gun?
Well, and that's the thing. Like with this is, yes, it's a reflex sight, and yes, it blurs out for me, and it's. And I want to try to make the point that just because it does that for me, if you know you have an astigmatism, it may do that. If you no, you don't have one, you can get a pretty clear reticle with this thing. Yeah.
So is it clearer than the blue and the green? Because you've shot blue and green, correct?
I have red, blue, and green.
So is the blue clear?
It is.
Okay.
When I have to turn it down because of the astigmatism.
Red does not do any favors for me. Red, it depends on the optic.
Yeah.
I got one that has a tail on the end of it.
Right.
And I've got this one, this Holliston, which is a star.
Yep.
It look like a dandelion. And then I've got one that's just like a booger. It just depends on the brand and the glass of what I see, and I know when I pick up which rifle, where I need to hold the aim.
Right.
And but if I pick up green is fantastic for me.
And that's the thing with this is red is the worst for me, even though I like red sights, because for some reason, maybe it's because I've shot them for so long, red dots, that they work well for me, even though they star out. But green is clearer than red for me, but this is clearer. Like if I look through it, and I just look at the blue dot, not the outer, what is it? Space Invader.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out where blue set on the range.
If you go to the Lucid, if you click some of the links in here for the Lucid Optics, the E7, one of them has, or some of them have, they have like a blue range on their thing, and it goes red is all the way at the top, and then green's like in the middle, and blue is down more. So,
okay.
That's
what I was trying to formulate, and I just couldn't get all the words in my thought together on that.
I hear you. And that's the thing is like, I turn it down. Like right now it's down a little bit. If I crank it up and look through this thing, it gets blurry, but I crank it down, like, I don't know, four adjustments or something. And I probably didn't mention it in here. It's just button up, button down, typical.
I mean, the thing is, when it comes to like optics like that, I try not to crank them all the way up, especially the illuminated optics, because they do get blurry and they do get fuzzy. I don't care if you're talking about a regular crosshair optic or dots or whatever. I mean, it's just the same thing with like scopes. You don't need a 25 power scope to shoot 200 yards.
Right. And that's the thing with like this one. Like I got it turned down 3, and I'm aiming it at the whitish screen, and it's pretty clear. So it's just kind of depends. It's hard to explain the blue color.
I'm going to pick one up and play with it, because that's really, with my astigmatism in both eyes, it's really appealing to me now that I've shot green.
And the thing is like I said, because of the reticle design, it may not work for you at all. Because like I said, if I turn it up, they blur together is what they do.
If it work, I'll send it to Tony.
Yeah. I mean,
oh, great. Yeah. Other people can use it, because I know if it blurs for y'all, it'll gonna blur for me.
Yeah.
Wonder whatever happened to gold, bro. The gold was out there for like a second, and then it went away, and it was really clear.
And I didn't get this because it's a dot, but next up, I have a Swamp Fox Tomahawk 2 review coming with the bright fiber optic center dot, and they listed in red, green, blue, or amber, but it's not a reticle; it's just the dot in the center of the optic. And I asked for blue because I knew I liked blue, and in that case, it works really well. My other choice would have been amber, just to try it out, because I know what red and green are going to be like. So there is that review is coming. I have kind of started working on it. Not really, but I mean, I've shot the gun quite a bit, but either way, that is the Lucid Optics E7 first blue reflex style sight. Now we can get into the product spotlight and discussion. First up, Umarex has come out with, they call it their complete NCR rifle package with Nitro Air, and both links are in the show notes. MSRP is $289.48 for the 22 caliber one, because There's no reason to talk about the 177 caliber one, in my opinion. I mean, they're the same gun, but yeah, there's no reason to. So what this is the reason I put the Nitro Air page in here is because it explains it a little more. It's kind of a combination thing. So this is to compete with PCP or pre-charged pneumatic air rifles. But it's powered by a Nitro Air cartridge, which is similar to a CO2 cartridge, except it's larger and screws in. Kind of more like a CO2 tank for not an air gun, but like a paintball gun or something. Now, of course, they're only selling this as a kit for right now. It includes a 4x32 scope, 10-shot rotary magazine. They say it has a built-in noise dampener because it's an air gun. They can have modulators that supposedly dampen the sound, because air guns are not, these high pressure air guns are not quiet. Even with this noise dampener, I'm sure it's not quiet. Of course, it's got a pick rail.
98 decibels.
Yeah, that's not quiet though.
No, that's what it come out as.
Right.
That's loud.
Yeah, and it's got an M-Lock 4 end that you can put a few things on, but you guys get the idea. It's a side lever action. So basically it's kind of like, I guess the closest thing you could say is like a straight pull. On the side, it just kind of slides back and goes forward. That's the easiest way to explain it. It's not quite true. And then it uses, like I said, the new nitrogen air high pressure nitrogen cartridges, which is really the innovation behind this thing, because what they're doing is you can now buy those Nitro Air. So you screw it in. They say you get 45 full power shots out of one of those air cylinders. Full power shots are what, 900 feet per second, Tony? Is that around with?
Well,
roughly.
In reality.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
In reality.
Shooting probably 18 to 22 grain slugs or pellets, depending on what you want, because I do know it will do both. There's a lot of stuff. They say quiet operation, which we all know 98 decibels is not quiet. But it gives you, the Nitro Air is the problem I have, and it's new, it's innovative. But the problem is if you click on it, you're paying $25 for a 2-pack of Nitro Air. So that's 90 shots. So you're looking at what, 50 cents a shot or 25 cents a shot, or a little more, 30 cents, 90, $25.
Well, truthfully, because I was looking at it, and before it starts dropping, you get 40 good shots, and then it just starts dropping.
Right. And then you change
get 40 shots, and then you have to figure out where that drop is and where it's going to hit. So if you're hunting with it, you better know what your drop is, and you better have your pellet count, because it's not going to hit where those next 20 ain't going to hit where the first 40 hit.
Yep. And so in my opinion, that's where the cost comes in. I mean, plus pellets, but pellets are, even quality pellets are cheap. I mean, they really are. Even if you're buying slugs, which I have some, and they're still pretty cheap. So that's irrelevant. The Nitro Air canisters is, I think, where your cost is going to be, because if you want 40 good shots and you're not going to worry about the others because you're dropping pressure, you're going to replace it after the 40 shots, or the minute you notice one drop low, you're going to be like, okay, it's time to change that again. Granted, like I was telling these guys before the show, I have one of the Umarex pre-charged pneumatic air rifles. It's one of the Origin ones, which is their like kind of entry level one. And it costs more than this does with the hand pump. So you're getting, and they're quite similar in the way they work. But like if you're going hunting or something like small game and you want to use the air rifle maybe to shoot small game while you're hunting or something to that effect, or even just hunting with it, this is easier to use because you don't have to take a pump with you. You don't have to sit there and pump, 200 times to get it up to pressure, so it's ease of use. Like I said, it's new technology. Well, new to air rifles technology. So that's where your price is coming in. Hopefully in 5 years, these things are dirt cheap like CO2 canisters are, and you can just buy them by the 100 or whatever you want.
Mm.
That's my thoughts on it. Of course, my other thought is it does come as a package right now. You can't just buy the rifle. And the only problem I have with that is okay, it comes with that fixed 4-power scope. I don't know why I'm sure it's just your, super cheap fixed 4-power scope. And you're just you get a hat and some pellets. Yeah, no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But from what Tony was saying, everybody tosses the scope and puts a different one on it anyway. I was telling these guys the scope I have on my air rifle it's a 2.5 to 15 and it works fantastic on the air rifle, but it's like twice the price of the air rifle. It's like, okay, it works great. I'm not taking it off.
Yeah, why not?
For me, I'm looking at it, and I'm an air gun dude. I like air rifles. I like shooting air rifles. I came up through school, competitive air rifle. And then when I watch these shenanigans from supposed reviewers, and they don't really give you a lot of information, all of them go, "This is great." I'm like, well, okay. So if you want to read about something, you go to Pyramid Air. It's spelled weird. Sorry, I didn't look it up. And if I said it, you wouldn't know it anyway. But Pyramid Air is where you can purchase air guns, and they have a blog. And the guy named Tom Gaylord does in-depth reviews. Like he runs like 10 different pellets through it and gives you the speed and gives you the differential. Because when you're shooting centerfire ammo or even 22 ammo, regular powder burning, that deviation between one round and the other really doesn't make that much of a difference. But when you're shooting air guns, it does, because the round will drop or not hit where you were aiming. And if you're doing this for hunting, round placement, shot placement is important because you don't have as much power as even 22 short. You know what I'm saying? So that's important. So I'm looking at this thing, and I think it can be cool. They're coming and giving it to you as a package deal, but they're giving you the cheapest little Chinese-made hat. They're giving you a freaking crappy scope, and they're giving you some pellets. But you're going to have to go through pellets to find out what shoots well with what you're doing if you plan on doing more than just blinking. Because you're going to have to go through pellets to find out what weight works best, what manufacturer works best. And if you get real geeky, you'll end up buying just based on lot numbers of which ones you want, because the difference in how well they shoot is huge. Now, when I set up my pistol to shoot, and I just shot in the backyard blinking at 10 meters with air gun targets, I had like 15 different types of pellets just to check out what my gun ran well. So I think it's cool, but I think the reviewers do a disservice in really trying to educate the user, because they give you that's shooting to 70 yards. You're not dropping anything at 70 yards with this round. It's not even what do you call it? Ethical.
Well,
to shoot a small game with this one.
Though the thing is if you're using slugs, the 22 caliber slugs that are 20, 21 grain, they're still moving it. I can't remember. I can look at my chart.
Some of them do 800 to 900 feet, but that's at the muzzle.
But
they're still doing at 70 yards.
The slugs are still doing 750 at. I think if I remember right now, the pellets drop off way before. But if you're shooting the slugs, which look like bullets,
okay,
I can look it up here if you guys talk. Maybe.
Yeah. So we can sit here and all of us stare at Chad as he looks stuff up to see if it has the feet per second that he wants. No, but I look at this and I feel that they should educate more, like, how does stuff fit? Does it work every time? Now, what I kind of did unfair. I wanted to check out what Umarex other CO2 gun did. And what happened at the one that's called the Fusion 2, they had fitment issues. They had sometimes it didn't, the gun itself didn't pierce the canister all the time. So they had a problem with that. They had a problem with accuracy with some rounds. So, and of course, again, they threw the scope away. That's what I want to know about something like this, especially at the price point it is. Is it going to be a positive experience for me when I drop $289? Or do I go, wow, this freaking sucked and I can't wait to sell it at a yard sale?
Yeah, I got you. And to answer your question, with the one I have, 21 grain bullet or slug at 100 yards, it's doing like 900 feet per second out the muzzle. Close to
muzzle,
yeah. And at 100 yards, it's, according to the ballistic calculator, 753 feet per second.
So 753 with 21 grains.
Right. And of course that's
like a 22 short out of a pistol.
Or yeah, I mean, because you got to go with bullet weight, but it's still not, it would shot placement, because they, at 70 yards, you could ethically take a cottontail or something.
Okay. Because that's my whole thing, is accuracy is very important. And when they're giving you numbers, I forgot what it was because it opened up at like some crazy number for the 22 of well over 1,000 feet per second. Once you break the sound barrier with some of these, I don't know about slugs, but with these Diablo shaped pellets, it throws off where it's going to hit when it crosses over the barrier in the supersonic.
Yeah, you would probably be better off staying in the subsonic range the entire time.
Right. You are, and that's the advantage with these at 900 feet per second. They're not breaking the sound barrier.
Over.
Yep.
Yeah, but the number they give you to get you excited and talk about the power.
Yeah, it's like supersonic. Yeah,
I'm like,
no,
that's not what you do.
I was excited about this at first, and until I ran the numbers about the cost of the air cartridge, the nitrogen cartridge, and then I was like, and this thing is like shooting a 5.7, and that's just about equivalent of what it costs. You're shooting a 5.7 out of an air rifle. That's price for price, round for round.
Except the 5.7 supersonic.
Yeah, but I mean, it's great because I think I've been looking, not hard, but I've been looking at adult air rifles for years, but more like in the 45 caliber is what, because who's the guy that has the hunting show? Is it Peterson or whatever? He does the professional air gun hunting.
Oh, there's a bunch.
He does deer and hog and stuff like that, and they hunt extremely large game with them. And I've watched those TV shows off and on throughout the years, and and I think they just now made it legal in a couple states around the house here that you can use air rifles to do that with, and it's something that's always interests me.
If you watch Mr. Hollow Point on YouTube, dude's dropping board hogs, wild hogs with pass-throughs. He's getting pass-through with the air rifle, but of course it's like 458 diameter and it's like a 200 grain round, but it's doing it. So I like to have people come into the whole whatever firearm or whatever gun you pick up. I want you to have a positive experience, and that's why I like this show, because we, not to pat ourselves on the back because I've only done a couple of reviews, but we give you every damn thing because we run it, because we want you to have a positive experience. We don't want you to be surprised. And we don't want to be seen as shills. So we give pros and cons. When I looked this up, if I hadn't have read a blog on the thing before, it'd have been like, hey, this thing is great. Wait a minute. How come no one has the same optics?
Yeah, no kidding.
You know what I mean? How does this thing fit? What's the fitment of the CO2? I mean, not CO2, but the nitrogen when you screw it in. Is it tight? Does it pierce every time? Because all you're going to have right now is Umarexes. cylinders.
Right.
In the one previous, Umarex said you should only use their CO2 cylinders. Meanwhile, the guy whose review I read said the CO2 for Umarex didn't work and he had to get the Crossman ones. So I'm saying, does this dang thing work every time? Because you're going to pay a lot of money. Cool part is magazines are like $10 for the 22. And again, if you get 40 solid shots with like less than 10 degree separation in feet per second, load up with 4 of them, you can go hunting, and at the end of that, just let the air out because it has a release at the bottom that you use the Allen wrench. Empty that sucker out, put the other cylinder in, and load your cylinders back up.
But then you just lost. So you didn't shoot the entire cylinder. You shot 1 or 2 rounds while you had a bad day. You didn't see many gain. You go home, you have to empty that cylinder out. You just lost $10, $12, whatever you spent for that cylinder. You can't load.
No, it should stay.
No, it should hold up.
Are they? I mean, I don't know if it's like CO2 canisters you're supposed to empty. I don't know if these are that way. I
was reading it. Still considered a loaded weapon.
I mean, there is that.
Oh, what do you mean? With just the air in it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what? Scared the shit out of you. It made noise in the corner. So my whole thing is, am I just dumping all the air out of that because I only shot rounds in it, or does it do a slow leak and I have to put a new one in next time anyway because I have no idea where the PSI is now.
Yeah, and
that's one of the things you don't get with these.
Right, and I don't know, like on the one I have, it being a PCP, it has an air gauge on it.
Yep,
and I never saw an air gauge on this one, which.
No, it doesn't. It's got an internal block that self-regulates.
Right. So,
but doesn't leak.
Yeah, and that's the key point is, I don't know because it screws in, like you said, Tony. Does it leak? And time will tell. I do know, like with the PCP ones, even though some of them are screw-in air canisters, mine is not. But I can pump it up and leave it, and it doesn't really leak. I mean, now, granted, I don't want to leave pressure in it all the time, but I've left it for a couple months and still had pressure in it. So,
well, this is new. It's not a lot of money. I mean, overall,
right?
That's just something new. It's going to be. I mean, if you want to wait around for Gen 2, or you jump on this, and it'll be just a cool thing that you were in on in the first place. Replace the optic.
Yeah.
Period. And check it out. But you're going to have to learn it. I think it's an adventure. I like stepping into it with something like this because it doesn't cost a lot to run them pellets through and find out what shoots your tightest freaking groups. And since it's not a PCP,
right?
It's not pneumatic, but it is. You don't have to worry about the artillery hole. You don't have to worry. But you can just shoot the dang thing almost like a regular rifle.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And since we're about done with this, I will say that when I got the PCP air rifle, which is similar, they are way more fun than people give them credit for. Mm-hmm. And Tony's shaking his head. Yes, it's just kind of one of those things. I don't think people understand. I mean, a lot of people do, but it's like you're used to shooting regular guns your whole life, and all of a sudden you shoot. Why do you want an air rifle? Oh, shoot one. You'll understand why. And so for like entry level stuff, that's about all I can say. But that is the Umarex Complete NCR, nitrogen canister rifle, I think is probably what that stands for. Who knows? Now, Primary Arms.
Who knows? It's German. Who knows? It's German. I mean,
9.
I'm just saying
too.
Like, it means this. I'm like, it's a German company.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's Umarex USA. I'm going with that.
Oh, okay.
So, and I don't know if these guys carry it, but Primary Arms seeks to provide you the best shopping experience for everything firearms. They have over 13,000 products from your favorite brands, including a complete selection of rifles, handguns, firearm parts, and shooting gear. Every order comes with a commitment to superior service, fast shipping, and an expert support team. Now, don't forget to check out their Primary Arms line of optics because they're awesome. We'll say that. Now, Primary Arms product of the week this week is the Primary Arms Gear range bag. Why did I put this in there? I don't know. I've been looking at range bags because I need one that's smaller than the huge one I have. That's the only reason. You can find everything you need by heading over to primaryarms.com. Now, they did have a 12% off sale. They're going to have a Father's Day sale. I don't know what's going on, but they're always running sales, so go check them out. Now, if you want to win one of their Gen 4 SLX 1-6s with the 300 Black 7.62 by 39 reticle, you can go to firearmsinsider.tv/giveaway and sign up to win one of those. And now we'll get into the Streamlight TLR7 HLX USB. MSRP on this is $295. We were talking about, MSRPs, which probably means this is nowhere near what it's going to cost. This is their new compact pistol light, basically. It's now high lumen for the HLX multi-fuel, so it comes USB-C rechargeable lithium-ion battery pack, or you can use a single CR123A battery if you want. It does come with the rear paddle switches, so if you want the low style or high style, they're both there. Now, they say longer reaching, tighter beam. It's 1,000 lumens, 25,000 candela, 297 meter beam, 30 minutes runtime, or you can program it to 500 lumens, 11,000 candela with a 1 hour runtime. Of course, it's only 500 lumens if you use the CR123 battery. So there's that. Of course, like we said, USB rechargeable. It weighs 2.88 ounces. You can get it in black or flat dark earth, depending on what you're looking at getting. It's basically their high lumen version of the TLR7, which I'm glad because the old one, I mean, if you're into weapon lights and want one on your handgun, having more lumens and candela is better. This one's more of a spot beam because 22,000 candela, if I remember correctly, is not, or it's more of a spot than it is a flood. But I can't remember. I might be wrong. Might be the other way around. I should probably look that up before I talk. I'll let somebody else try. So take it away.
Well, I was listening to the review of it. I mean, not review, but intro of it on TFB. And they were talking about it had some decent spill because it is for smaller handguns, right? This is the one, right?
Yes.
This is TLR. Yeah. So they were talking about it has more spill. It just has a bigger bezel on it. So it's used. They changed some of the technologies because I was looking it up too. I was looking up the older version of it, which is totally different. This is not coming out until June, the end of June, I heard, from when they did the review on the NRA show. So
yeah.
You got to look for these specific numbers.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Yeah, the HLX USB. And those numbers, by the way, if you please pay attention, is done with the Streamlight SLB9 USB rechargeable battery.
Right.
If you're only using the CR123s, it's 500 lumens and 11,000 candela. So, I mean, just be aware. I think it's really cool that it uses USB batteries. I have LA Police Gear flashlight here that uses it, and all I have to do is plug it in and charge it up. So that's kind of cool. I know when the whole world ends and everything, I'll be able to find AAAs everywhere, and my flashlights won't work. But up until then, I can recharge this thing, and it's pretty cool. So I like the idea of this. As far as putting the lights on compact pistols, is what it is. Plus, you can also put this on personal defense weapons, like shorter shoulder-fired guns, and it's not taking up a lot of room, and it has decent candela, and it's still lightweight, because that kind of defeats the purpose sometimes when you get a rifle and then you just put a heavy ass light on it, and it's like, yeah, great,
yeah,
and now it throws everything off. I was running the class last week, and my flashlight. I'm throwing the rifle up, and I'm like, since the flashlight is adding more weight than I'm used to because I haven't used it at the end of my AR in a while, and I felt the difference because I run a streamlight on the front of my bullpup high point, and you just don't even feel that weight. So I think it's pretty cool. I hope it works out. I hope it takes off. Maybe they'll send me one. Who knows? I'll ask. They're across the river here.
Yeah.
You know they're in PA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like an hour away.
Hey, whatever works. Well,
Yeah, it's just a shame, Tony, you have such a problem asking people to send you free stuff.
that's right.
Yes, I know. I have to work my way through that shyness.
Yeah. I think all of us here do. All of us. So that is the Streamlight TLR 7 HLX USB. Next up, Occam Defense Ruck. MSRP on this is $199. This is kind of cool if you have an American rifle in 7.62 by 39. This is really all it's for. The bolt action Ruger American rifle. Basically what it does is make it so you can run standard AK mags in these things, which is kind of cool.
Let's get this clear. There is not a standard AK mag.
Well, this is true.
Sorry, nail that one.
Okay, well then I don't know what they're doing.
There's a bunch of shims that come with this thing.
Yeah, to get it to fit. To get it to fit, it's got shims. But it's cool no matter what it is and how it works. Yes, you probably have to mess with it a little bit, but if you really like your Ruger American and 7.62 by 39 and you're tired of the little 5-round magazines or whatever Ruger gives you, this is an option. Occam Defense makes good stuff, so I know you don't have to really worry about that. Now, of course, they said you can set it up to run Magpul mags, or almost anything else. So, it's kind of one of those things. They say it's easy to install. I believe them. I just thought it was cool. I mean, if I had one of these Ruger Americans in that caliber, I would seriously think about getting one.
And it is 7.62 by 39 and a 6.5 Grendels as well.
Right.
So they're basically the 220 Russian, 220 Swift.
Right.
All parent cartridge, that particular boat face case size. So I think it's fantastic if it's something that you want that bigger magazine in there. I think it's cool. It just adds a little bit more aesthetic to your rifle.
Right.
It's something else that goes with it. It makes it look cool.
I think it's even more than makes it look cool. It gets you away from the stupid Mini 30 mags from Ruger, which are way expensive, and pretty much it gets you into, again, it's 7.62 by 39. Why not use the most common magazines for it? Because you never know. Now, we all say buy a gun for whatever reason you want to, but seems to me you never know what the future holds. You never know what they can ban. You never know what you might end up with. You could put that as a cabin gun somewhere that's a bolt action that stores easily because the Ruger American is well made, but it's polymer. And you can stash that with AK mag for the poop hits the fan. And you know it's going to be ready to go with that ammo. I'm just saying. So I think it's a good option, and it makes it pretty dang cool.
That's why when I bought that Mossberg, it takes standard AR mags, and it come with a 5-round mag or 10-round mag. I'm sorry, and I've been running 20-round mags in it, and then I've got tons of 20s and I got tons of 30s. I use 20-round mags at the range because it's just easier to sit on my vise, and then and that's what I hunt with. But 30 rounds for home defense and classes and stuff. So, but yeah, I see the point in this, and I think it's fantastic. I think it's a really good setup for it, and I'm glad Occam does a lot of good stuff for accessories and stuff for AK rifles, and I'm glad they brought this out.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool too. So
you saw the video, right? Who was in it? Joe from well, Red Jacket back in the day, if you remember that. But
Yeah.
it's hilarious because I, I got a picture of me and him in NRA in like Atlanta way back. This dude, I mean, they did a lot of cool stuff that making guns and gun building. So if he's on here co-signing about it, and he just ran multiple magazines through at different manufacturers over and over. U.S. Palm, which I don't even think
They're back
anymore, right? They're back.
No, they're back. They're back.
Yeah.
U.S. Palm, Magpul, Steel Romania Mags. He was running them all through, and I thought that was like, all right, you got to do this legit, manufacturer who's running stuff through. That's the kind of stuff I like to see.
True. So that is the Occam Defense Ruck. Now, because, it's dark outside, you need night sights. Who gives you night sights? XS Sights. For over 25 years, they've helped get you on target faster. I don't think they make any for the Ruger American rifle, but maybe they do. I don't know. Offering tritium sights.
They are.
All different types and styles. Low light's no longer an obstacle. Most options come with a brightly colored photoluminescent ring. That colored ring makes them work great in daylight by drawing your eye right to that front sight. XS Sights has sight styles for everyone. Big dots, ghost rings, standard notch and post, minimalist, suppressor height, all offering tritium options. Available for that plethora of firearm types, from shotguns to handguns, XS Sights has you covered for all your low light sighting needs. I think their Memorial Day sale is over now, so you have to use the code GGR20 for 20% off of stuff over there. And our product of the week from them is the fiber optic Glock sights. The reason I put the fiber optic Glock sights in here was because I was looking for sights on their website, and I think their Memorial Day sale pretty much wiped them out because everything was out of stock except the fiber optic Glock sights. So just thought I'd let you know. They're probably working their butt off to get them restocked, but almost everything over there was out of stock. So just thought I'd let you know that's a good thing for them. Might not be a good thing for you, but you probably missed out on the sale. We don't have any listener feedback, so I guess that means we have to talk to our listener, Tony, and see what he's doing at his diversity shoots.
One, don't call me a listener. I don't listen to this damn shit. All right, number one.
Well, we the solstice is coming up, Tony.
Okay, so with the podcast, with the 2A4E podcast, freaking the app I use have changed and hooked up with Spotify, and I got to do some stuff with my account to actually get back on to my own show. So that's what's going on with that. Diversity shoot. Got a diversity shoot coming up June 6th. At Gun for Hire Range in Woodland Park. Tickets going to be available out there, and if you're hearing this show, you missed it. It was awesome. You should have been there. We did really cool stuff, and then we smoked cigars outside. We asked about you, but you weren't there because you suck and didn't buy a ticket. So you should go to diversityshoot.com and buy tickets for the next one, which is going to be at Recoil Range at the 20 whatever day of the week is, the 20-something, 22nd or something of June. But the big news is we have another range in New Jersey that we'll be hosting events at. So today I got the 3 dates that we're going to have available for the rest of the year. And I'm going to contact them. I had to run it past my volunteers to make sure I didn't double book anything. And we have 3 more dates at a brand new range. So we will be, what is this, like the 6th range we're hosting events at since we started this thing, 6 or 7. But it's going to be awesome because it's a totally different part of New Jersey. It's a whole new crowd, but it's close enough that my volunteers can make it. And so I'll have my guys with me. We'll have cool guns, and we'll announce it once we get everything. I talked to the range. They're 100% behind us and actually look forward to it, including they're going to provide official photographers for our range visits just so they can have really good pictures that they can use on social media and put in posters. So I can't wait to announce it and for it to be official. But the first date I have is like the last week of July, so it's coming up soon. Also, I'll be speaking in the inaugural GOA convention that's going to be held August 27th I think, the last weekend in August in Knoxville, Tennessee. So,
Yeah, I'll be there as your token white man.
Hey, everybody needs one. So I can't wait. If you guys want to donate to us and help make us awesome, I'd appreciate it. You can go to diversityshoot.com. You can donate to our PayPal or whatever links there. We also have Venmo. We also have Cash App. And I have the Patreon backup. So if you want to donate continually, cool. Because I was looking at Patreon and I have some videos I want to post to that as Patreon exclusives. Well, not exclusives, but first runs. And then I'll post it to our YouTube channel because I'm trying to grow it all. So thanks a lot. It's been freaking forever. What is it, 9 years of doing these? And I appreciate it because it's been fun. And I really enjoy talking to people every week.
Yeah, because we know you don't listen.
No, hell no. That's definitely not to this show or that horrible We Like Shooting.
Yeah, we don't listen to anything.
Aaron's racist.
So you can send us questions, comments, or feedback to gungearreview@gmail.com or just send them to We Like Shooting. I mean, why not?
Why not?
We get reviews from who knows where. That's not even a show close to ours, but they might need some too. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us that review somewhere. Be sure to
hold on. Aaron's not racist, by the way.
He's not.
There are some people without two brain cells that go, Tony said Aaron's racist, so it must be true.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You can't be a Jew and racist, can you?
I'll leave that alone.
Yeah.
But Jeremy, that motherfucker racist.
Man, and now we're getting kicked off.
It's towards his animals.
It should be called the We Like Animals show or something. And they got the zookeeper Sean. Don't forget to visit the Firearms Insider at firearmsinsider.tv. You can check us out on Facebook, X, Instagram at Firearms Insider. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Well, they might just cut us off. That's what happens with YouTube and everywhere else. But subscribe for now. Please check out all our great sponsors. They make this show happen. And thank you for always listening to the largest pound for pound podcast on the network. And we are out.
Epstein didn't kill himself.
This podcast has been a production of the Firearms Radio Network. For more, visit firearmsradio.net.